I'm Nathan Smith, the Digital Programming Coordinator for the Central Arkansas Library System. Welcome to Intro to Computers. If you're new to the whole computer thing or you just need a refresher on the basics, this series is for you. In previous videos, we've talked through some key advice for learning about computers or really any technology topic, and we've discussed the 4 basic parts of a computer and what they do. Today I'm at the Little Rock Riverport, where CALS has set up temporary offices while the main library is being renovated. We're looking forward to settling into our newly refurbished, nice new space in a year or so, but in the meantime, I want to talk with you about keyboards. The keyboard might be the most iconic computer part in existence. You see a keyboard, you think computer. Here I've got a pretty standard keyboard for a Windows computer. It's got a row of number keys here at the top, well, near the top, you can ignore these, and it has each of the 26 letters of the alphabet down here in what seems like kind of a random order. At the bottom is this long key called the spacebar, and it's surrounded by a bunch of other keys that might seem a bit more mysterious. But let's just start with the letters. You probably already noticed the letter keys on this keyboard are not in alphabetical order. This arrangement is what's known as a QWERTY layout, Q-W-E-R-T-Y, and it's a keyboard setup that became the standard on typewriters almost 150 years ago. There's a lot of debate about why the letters are set up in this way. It might have been to make things easier on folks, or it may actually have been a way to slow down typists who were a little bit too fast for the typewriters to handle. The important point is folks have been typing this way for over a century now, so almost every keyboard that you run into will be a QWERTY one. Enough setup though, let's actually talk about how to type. When you're typing, it's important to make things easy on yourself. That's why it's best to start your fingers on what's called the home row of your keyboard. That's this middle row right here. On most keyboards, there's a little bump that indicates where your pointer fingers should start. So you've got one on the F key here, and you've got one on the J key over here for your right hand. From there, each finger sits on the next key in the row. So your left fingers will sit on the F key, the D key, the S key, and the A key, and your right fingers will sit on the J, the K, the L, and the semicolon, just like that. Your thumbs are going to rest on the space bar. This probably goes without saying, but to make a letter appear on your screen, you'll simply press and release that letter's key lightly, like this. Boop. No need to slow down and make sure the letter appears, it will. Just give each key a little push, then move on to the next one. To put a space between words, tap the space bar. What if a letter that you need isn't on the home row? Well, because the keys are close together and your fingers are in the middle, with practice you'll be able to reach most keys on the keyboard by moving just one finger instead of your whole hand like this. For example, the ring finger on your left hand is normally used for the S, the W, and the X. Your pointer fingers cover 6 keys, for instance J, U, Y, H, N, and M. Once the finger types one of those nearby keys, you want to practice moving it back to its home position so you don't get mixed up about which keys are which. For numbers, I understand you're supposed to move only one finger from the home row like I did with the other keys, but personally I kind of find that hard to do. Particularly if you have mobility issues, please don't feel bad if you need to move your hand out of place a little bit to type a number. That's just how it has to be sometimes. Just make sure when you're done typing the number, you get back to the home row afterwards. There's another very important key to talk about here. So far, you may have noticed that I've been typing in lowercase letters, right? If you're writing something more formal than your average text message, you're gonna need capital or uppercase letters too. To type one, hold down one of the 2 shift keys with your little finger while pressing the appropriate letter key. Once you let go of shift, you'll go back to typing in lowercase. Shift is also used for keys that have a second symbol or character on them. For example, the 1 key has an exclamation point on it. In order to type an exclamation point, I'll need to hold shift with the little finger of my right hand while pressing the 1 with my left hand. On most keyboards, The character at the bottom is the regular one, and the character at the top is the one that you get by holding Shift while you type that key. Some of you who might have tried a little bit of typing may be yelling at your screens right now. Shift is too hard. What about caps lock? For those not in the know, this key, usually to the left of the A key here, makes every letter you type capital until you press the key again. On a lot of keyboards, it actually has a little light on it that tells you whether it's on or off. And using the caps lock seems convenient since you're not trying to hold Shift and type another letter at the same time. But if there's one key on your keyboard I would encourage you not to use, it's the caps lock key. I know that might sound a little harsh, but I've got a couple of reasons for you. For one, if you want to use the caps lock key to capitalize a letter, you actually have to use 3 keystrokes instead of 2. 1, press the caps lock key. 2, type the letter that you want to capitalize. 3, press the caps lock key again to turn it off. I know it's not much, but that's extra work. More importantly though, caps lock only works for letters. If you want a $ or an exclamation point or a question mark, the only way to get that is by holding Shift and pressing that key. It doesn't work with caps lock. And in some cases, people get themselves in trouble using caps lock. If you forget caps lock is on and you try to type a password, many times it won't work. Passwords are a little fussy about whether a letter is capital or lowercase, and you normally can't see what you're typing when you're typing in a password. Unless you happen to look down and see that the little light is on, well, on this keyboard it's over here, but still, then you might spend a long time going, I swear I'm typing my password correctly. Why doesn't this work? If you don't use caps lock, you'll never have that problem. There's more to say about the keyboard, so I want to talk about a few other keys in the next episode. In the meantime, thanks for sticking with this one. Learning this stuff can be a challenge, but I know you're up to it. See you next time.